the ACC will add Stanford, Cal, and SMU for every sport. Yes, it's for everything. And not just for football and men's and women's basketball, or just football only, or just men's and women's basketball, but everything in athletics. And granted, some of the sports are not for everybody. I mean, that's because of Title IX. So, for example, like Pitt doesn't have men's and women's tennis. I know SMU doesn't have softball, baseball. But we know the big moneymaker is football and men's basketball. And I know women's basketball to a certain extent, but it still lose money sometimes. I mean, football has 17 full-time members, plus Notre Dame, but that's an independent school. 17 full-time members for that. And 18 men's and women's basketball now. But for all the other sports, I have no clue. And we know that SMU is going to take no money from the TV media rights for the first 7 years. And we know that Stanford and Cal are going to only get 30% of those revenue shares. And we know that the ACC, in order to get into that conference, you need 12 out of 15 yeses. Clemson said no. North Carolina said no. Florida State said no. NC State was the one that flipped, by all accounts. I'm not shocked by Florida State and Clemson staying firm. They are wanting to leave. Let's be clear. And I knew about North Carolina situation because of the administration stuff I saw last night on Twitter. They were against it, and even their women's soccer coach is against it. So now the money is going to create a revenue between $50 and $60 million. Some of it will be divided proportionally among the 14 full-time shares in Notre Dame, while another portion is going to be put in the pool designated for success initiatives that rewards programs that win. Now, the biggest question is, how much money will be spent for travel? I'm serious about this, because you have to go cross country now. And granted, I know football, you could just fly on a charter. Men's basketball too, and partially women's basketball as well. But now you got to think about all the other sports that have to play one-on-one with each other. I mean, that's the truth. And all this, and this now becomes a logistics nightmare on travel and scheduling as well. Let's not forget about that. At least now you got to think about all those athletes from the ACC going all the way across country to Stanford and Cal. They're going to lose 3 hours. 3 hours. I mean, because from the Eastern time zone to the Central time zone, and then to the Mountain, and then Pacific. So, and of course, you could say the same thing about all the Stanford and Cal athletes going all the way across too, but adding. I mean, it's going to be later in the day, and I know it's going to be a little bit later in the state of Texas, but you get the point in all this. It's going to be interesting how they're going to handle this. I think this is more of a temporary fix, because they are anticipating some teams leaving, like North Carolina, Florida State, and Clemson. I mean, that's the truth in all this. And one reason why the ACC added those 3 schools is ESPN's media rights deal with the ACC allows ESPN to renegotiate if the league drops below 15 members. So, and we know, and they want to get the Power 5 schools, wanted to get Power 5 schools now opposed to G5 later to maintain required membership number. And I know it's still a long way for the TV media rights deal to be done, as we all know, 2036. But I expect something to happen, like not right now. I don't know about a year from now even. It's so much money on a buyout. It's not including an early exit fee as well. Right now it would be like $5 to $10 million. So, yeah, just think about that, for example. And I think it's going to be between 2029 and 2035 before somebody leaves. Honestly, and why would Florida State settle for this when their rival Florida is making more money? And same thing goes for Clemson. I mean, it's going to be interesting how much money is going to be spent for travel. That's the thing in all this, and how they're going to make scheduling going forward. And I know some ACC fans are against this right now. Prior to this, I want to hear from all of y'all about this in the comments, and whether you're against it or are you for it, or like, it's indifferent to me. I think some of the school fan bases out there are indifferent because, look, without those additions, and some teams potentially leaving down the line, they're going to be in trouble in finding a new home, like Boston College and Wake Forest, for example. Just to name two examples right there. So, anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe button. See you guys later. 5 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go.